This week on the Road Testament, we discuss the Detroit Auto Show. My co-host, JF Musial, is back from the Detroit Auto Show, and that's the topic of the day, the Detroit Auto Show. I'm Alex Roy. JF Musial, say hi.
Hi.
The Detroit Auto Show, today on the Road Testament.
That was 5 times.
That's the part of the joke, dude.
Oh, okay. The most obvious of new cars released at the Detroit Auto Show, the Porsche 918 RSR. What do you think?
Totally awesome. Porsche totally delivered. I mean, if you've seen Le Mans, you know that this is the first Porsche really, since that movie came out in '71, to really honor their legacy. And besides the fact that the hood scoop is completely cool, the flywheel in the passenger seat, so cool, it's hard not to curse right now. Great, great, great car.
It's also, it reminds me of, what car companies should be doing. It's an evolution. You look at the 918 Spider, and then you take the technology out of the GT3R Hybrid, which, won in China, did very well petite, could have won it at Nürburgring if it weren't for another mechanical issue. It's great to see that Porsche is using these races as test beds and then taking that technology, implementing them into new cars, and the car looks amazing. I saw it in person. Oh, cannot believe it. And it's glad to see a company that's really working with their history to push new products to the next step. Moving on to, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I totally agree, and I hope for Ferrari's sake that they come out with a car where hybrid technology is not an afterthought and is integral to the design, the way Porsche did. But go to the next car.
Geneva's going to tell us that story with Ferrari and the 612 replacement with their new KERS offering. I think KERS and energy recovery systems for supercars is going to be a standard in the not too distant future. Going on now to the Veloster, awesome. I can't say anything more than that. It was we expected this car for quite some time, and it's a great direction for Hyundai, especially with that 3-door layout. I absolutely love it. It's different, it's genius, and they're starting to come out with their design trend, and it's now obvious how their future cars will look.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, Hyundai, we said this months ago, totally on a roll. Every car in the lineup's improving, and Jalopnik called this car. This is the car Honda should have built. This is the car the CRX should have been. The CRX was not moddable or really the car that people in this price range who want to tune them was looking for. The Veloster, 2,500 pounds, 140-ish horsepower, 6-speed, 40 miles to the gallon, under 20 grand. This car's a steal today. It's going to be a steal when it comes in used and under 10 grand in a couple of years. Good for Hyundai, man. Super proud of these guys.
We haven't driven it yet. No one really has, but I love the way it looks. I hope that its driving impressions stack up to the way it looks. Moving on to the 6 Series Cabrio from BMW. Alex, I saw it at the show floor. I'm not impressed, to be honest with you.
Look, I'm a BMW guy. I've been a BMW guy for years. I have an 88 M6. I've got an M5, but this new BMW design trend is making me miss Bangle's designs. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And
they're trying to get themselves on the right. Well, they're trying to get themselves on the right foot after their design philosophy kind of went out the window a few years ago. So they're trying to recreate that trend. I know the 5 Series was amazing. The new 5 Series that came out just last year was a great step forward, and it just feels like they kind of lost their way with the 6 Series, and it's much more. I don't know. It feels bloated. It doesn't feel as slick and clean as what you would find with the 5 Series design.
They should bring back the old 8 Series and then evolve that. Let's move on before I say something rude.
Okay. Volkswagen Passat. It's the new offering that is going to be cheaper than the previous generation, and it's going to be built, well, for our market, right here in Tennessee.
What do you think?
In our backyard. What's that?
What do you think?
What do I think? I think that I like the old Passat much better, even though this one's cheaper. I got to kind of feel around it. It feels much cheaper on the interior. The design I can understand. I like it's basic and it's clean and slick. But to be honest with you, I kind of like the old Passat design better, even though this one's a little bit bigger. And I'm sure, I honestly, not too impressive. I hoped more from Volkswagen.
I kind of agree with you. VW's lineup is weird because they make a lot of great cars. I don't like the Beetle, but they make a lot of great cars. This one's weird because the VW CC is a beautiful car. It looks kind of like a CLS from Mercedes, but this Passat, which is priced correctly and aggressively, it kind of looks vaguely like a watered down Ford front end. Like, I don't quite get it. I think they're going to sell a boatload of them, but I don't love this car, and I love a lot of VW's cars, but not this one.
Mini Paceman. It's the new age of, I guess you could
Crossover.
say, bloated SUV. It's basically the all four Countryman, but with two doors, which is kind of what I guess you could say, the Mini Cooper is. It's a bloated Mini Cooper. I don't know how to read this one yet. I like the way it looks. Obviously, it's just big, and it just doesn't feel right for the Mini philosophy. But
how much is this car going to cost?
Too early to speculate, to be honest. It's too early.
Let me say this. It is four-wheel drive, manual,
Yes.
200 horsepower, something like that. It's kind of a cool product package, but I'd rather see a four-wheel drive Mini Cooper S. That would make sense to me as a product, but this is weird. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The problem with that is that the Cooper platform, it's not possible to apply the four-wheel drive system to that. I don't know. Just something's weird with that brand philosophy. It's very hard to put together. Moving on to the Chrysler 300. Alex, I'll save my thoughts. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I mean, I thought the first Chrysler 300 was cool. I think this is cool. Good for them, man. And, Spinelli said so, on Jalopnik. This thing's cool. And, it's also a car you see, all over. And, it's nice to see a mass-produced, commonly seen car that actually looks good. Remember the Sebring? This thing is cool. I like this thing.
To be honest with you, I have to agree with you. The 300 is actually a great-looking car, and I actually like it than the previous generation. It looks kind of smaller than the previous generation, even though it's not really. And I think it's a great move for the newly owned Chrysler brand.
Good for them.
Good job. And last but not least, I almost screwed that up, the Audi A6. And I'm an Audi fan, and I'm going to have to say, dull.
Yeah, well, Audi A6. I love Audi. Before I became a BMW guy, I had an S4, I had an A4, I had a TT. And the A6 has always been kind of the weird stepchild of the brand because it didn't look as good as the A4 or the A8. It always the generations always came out at the wrong time to take advantage of the prior generation's styling or the next one. This thing looks good, but the interior is a huge step backwards. Audi interiors have been the absolute benchmark for at least 6-7 years. The interior of this looks like a prior generation BMW 5 Series. This is a huge mistake for them. And
I'm not going to say, hold on, Alex. I'm not going to say the car is anything bad looking. It's a good looking car.
Yeah.
I will say this about the interior. It's not a step forward. It's what you would expect out of Audi.
No, it's less than you'd expect. This is not a world-class cutting-edge interior. They could have used the same interior from last time, and that would have been the right choice. And it's not. It's a 2005.
But that's the thing. It kind of is. It's kind of like an A interior. I have to say they didn't take any steps forward with their interior design.
The A8 interior is a work of art. This is not.
Well, it's kind of all the same though, Alex. It kind of looks. It doesn't look like they tried too much. They all look the same now, and it's kind of upsetting. I don't want my.
Well, on the plus side, let's say something nice about the A6. It does come in a hybrid, and if it is like Porsche uses hybrid technology with fuel economy, that kind of makes sense. If it's not priced too high, this could be an interesting car in Audi's lineup.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Well, Alex, that's all the time we have. That's all we have time for today. I'm going to cut you off short. You're going to be back next week?
Next week, in person, I promise. My eyebrow is almost completely grown back. I'll be better dressed. I look forward to seeing you in person, Jeff.
I wish I could say the same about you.